Hello, everybody. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I just feel like I want to recap a little bit what changed. While I was talking to my partner about a recent communication with my mother, he really nailed it. He said they bought into the plan, in that now the other opinion is a threat. That's what needed to change. This is why we needed a pandemic. This is a really interesting recognition. I'm going to try to rephrase that one more time because I'm not sure if I'm getting across a takeaway in a way that it would be appropriate to alert us all, because that is really un-American. That is an element of erosion of American free culture, North American free culture, Canada and the United States are part of North America, and so is Mexico. So that's how I use these words. These are geographical terms, and I have no other way of describing this area and conglomerate, because obviously there is no government, there's only two corporations. And for Mexico, I can't speak. I have no experience with the Mexican state. However, looking at that recent exchange with my mother, and I remember an early experience she told me on the phone about a year ago, where German authorities in a city had barricaded an apartment complex. And interestingly enough, there was a lot of Sinti and Roma living there. And simsalabim, abracadabra, because of those people now representing a dirty threat again. I can't believe how similar the imagery is. My mother at the time found it okay for authorities to barricade this apartment complex and deprive residents of their freedom to go in and out the way they were seeing that fit. And the way that's possible is because the other opinion is now a dirty threat, ridden with parasites and insects that shouldn't live in a human's body while they're alive. That is shocking, how willingly we buy into this un-American thing. Let me remind you all, American is to dig in the dirt and build out your own self-sustainable, independent existence. This is why everybody came to North America, if you forgive me my, post-indigenous, whitewashed white perspective. I admit freely to it, coming from a place of privilege, and definitely acknowledging the deprivation that is system built in our administrations currently. There is no discussion about that. But I'd like to discuss how it is possible in North America again to dismiss another opinion because the person holding that opinion now represents a dirty, diseased threat to everybody else. Doesn't that ring all of your alarm bells? Anybody? This is the exact same wording that was put forward by the Nazis to just disown, discredit, and trash and slander, really, slander an entire ethnicity. I mean, there is no anything that is more scientifically unsubstantiated, and I would implore North Americans, and if it's only for the sacrifice of the North American GIs that freed Germany from the Nazi oppression, which would be plenty, so much that I certainly in my lifetime can never pay that back, that debt. I will always be indebted to those cannon fodder GIs. But me talking to you here right now and having chosen to get a biology degree instead of learning some fancy job in the media, which I could have, is a testament to that sacrifice. Don't let it be in vain, and let your government tell you where the enemy is and who the enemy is. If you want to take anything away from the sacrifice, don't trust your government, and your neighbor is your friend. Because in the case of an accident, your neighbor will suffer the same fate, your government will not. Your government is not in the same boat with you. This is a very obvious attempt to erode a vital and fundamental part of American culture, and that is the fact that the other is not a threat to our existence, but a potential for prosperity and common growth. That is America. We welcome the other. We welcome the other opinion. We welcome dissent. We welcome pluralistic management approaches. That is North America. Don't forget that. Try to be American. Stand up for yourself. Cut the cord. Energy is free. We all need to just harvest it. Funny how that is illegal in many cities and municipalities. That's un-American. But those are not our governments. Those are corporations, for-profit corporations, in lieu of a government. And they have a self-interest in maintaining everything the way it is. They are not impartial, and they definitely shown us over and over again that they do not have our best interest at heart at all. So, North Americans, please take heart. Grow a spine. Use your backbone and stand up to this hate and intolerance and the really unnatural rejection of a learning process. Why can I be so sure of this? Because I looked at all those diverging opinions and positions. For example, how diseases spread and what this experimental genetic treatment does. Remember how it first all sounded like hydroxychloroquine was promising and then didn't work? I mean, still to this day, I don't think people realize that they witnessed a once-in-a-lifetime event when the Lancet, the most prestigious scientific journal, retracted a study that turned out to be completely manufactured, which people who have any experience in molecular biology or simply have undertaken a trip to the tropics, they caught it right away. The concentrations that were used in this study would have killed elephants. They were just totally overdosed, and as I just mentioned, later turned out to be fake. Because this didn't go through the media. And then the funny thing is also that the few studies that actually tested hydroxychloroquine in a broader context didn't give any zinc with it, didn't give any vitamin D3, even so that increases the efficiency of the medication significantly. And that was already known before we even started those studies. So, till this day, it's a mystery why we did not study hydroxychloroquine right away and why we prevented everybody from medicating sick patients who could have lived with this medication early on. But instead, we send them back home. They test positive, we send them back home quarantine. And when they're sick enough, we put them on respirators. That's murder. That's genocide. That's eldercide. This is going to be... There's going to be justice for that. And a lot of people are guilty of participating in these crimes against humanity. Hydroxychloroquine is a market-approved medication that has been curing people with these infectious diseases for 65 years. It's, however, not patented. So that means it can be produced at very little cost by a lot of different manufacturers. That's not exactly the most popular capitalism model right now, though, and it hasn't been for a long time. The most popular capitalism model that is in play in many areas of our daily doings, for example, digital distribution is the best example for it, is monopolized control of the market and then alienating artificially by fees and other market access restrictions and barriers the competitors in the marketplace. That's how we play capitalism here in North America. It's not free. It's gaining control of the market, and if that takes 10 or 20 years, in the case of Amazon, eventually you will get there. You control the market. The market is you, and then you just do whatever you want. That's not capitalism, though. Capitalism is most successful in getting the best product at the lowest price to the consumer when there is a big competition, when there's many different players in the market who all have equal access to the market. North America hasn't seen that in a long time. But this is one of those really painful recognitions. We think we are so superior and free. And in the end, we have to realize it's all been a big manipulation. And we never really needed fossil fuels to prosper in the first place, maybe other than in the first 10 years after we started exploring fossil fuels. It is definitely an accomplishment of indoctrination that so many North Americans can't imagine an economy without fossil fuel. Even so, we get that energy for free to this planet every day. 1,000 and 1,000,000 fold. Yeah. It's kind of hard to understand Really, there is no reason why we shouldn't harvest that. It's just not in the interest of the people who control the markets. But North Americans are free. They don't have to ask any government for any permission. They are the government. That is the difference between North America and the rest of it. Don't let that sacrifice be in vain, please. Remember how to be North American. You gotta unplug and then take back the market. Thanks for listening into my channel here at abroadcom.net, where we struggle for words. Very happy that you've been struggling with me. And if you like this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And maybe you can even donate a little bit. That would be much appreciated. Thank you.